Success comes after adversity. That is the topic of today's video. And if this sounds like something you're interested in, stick around for it. But before we get to the actual video, I need you to subscribe to this channel, give it a like if I create a shift, and drop it in the comments below. So let's get started. And honestly, this video, I felt called to share it with you because over the last 3 months, I went through hell. It was like every problem, every disappointment, every delay showed up at the worst time possible. I had all this momentum, and then out of the blue, it showed up. And luckily, I'd been through this many times as an entrepreneur, and I came to this conclusion too that really like anchors in this statement is like, in entrepreneurship and in life in general, but I see it a lot in entrepreneurship, we got to take a step backwards before we go forwards, okay? And I'm going to share multiple experiences in this video that I've been through because luckily I recognized the pattern when I was going through it the last 3 months. It was just, no matter what I did, it was just blocks, disappointments, and it was a mess. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And then I thought back to the previous times this happened, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's just like that moment. And I'd say, what was this, back right at COVID, back in, what was that, 2020? I can't even remember that date. God, that was a weird time of my life. But during COVID, I had been doing work as a videographer and photographer, okay? And I'd been making just progress forward. And I got this really dope client named Rich McCoy, and I was making like $750 a week at the time, which was like a full send from being broke. And I was like, yes. And then all of a sudden, COVID happened. And then that shut down a bunch of the world. And I found myself back at Amazon working part-time for like 20 bucks an hour from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m., hating my life. And I remember thinking like, why am I a talented videographer, photographer, more or less creative at Amazon working the night shift? But that's where the beauty came when I asked that question, because when I was at Amazon, I could not stop thinking about business. I could not stop thinking about ideas. I could not stop thinking about all the stuff I wanted to do when I was at Amazon. And then when I was out of Amazon, I couldn't do anything because I was tired and recharging and I had to go back to Amazon, right? But then I slowly picked up the pattern, and it was like, I'm only at Amazon because I'm not focused on what I'm doing. And even though I'm here getting exhausted, it's creating a lot of reciprocity in my creativity. And I kid you not, that job ended up being a blessing because they would kill it. And then they'd want us to sign new contracts. But since I didn't want to work full time, they gave me a severance package. So I got $1,500 extra leaving that job just to full send into media. And then from that point forward, as soon as I signed that contract, I literally built an agency that would make me, I think that was the first year I made over $70,000, and then would go up to $80,000 and so forth. And was like, yes. And then I was like, we're out of this shit. And then 3 months ago, I found myself back in the shit. And I was like, oh my God, why is this happening? But honestly, it's like being on the other side of it now, it was just like a nice little break. It got me the creative break I needed. And I was driving for Uber this time, which is way better than Amazon. I get to sit in the air conditioning. I get to be my own boss, and I literally get to say yes or no to the rides I want. And I can print money. I can literally make $300 on any day that I need to make $300, which is cool, right? And then this time around, like what I was personally being shown, and you might too, is I'm at this weird balance between working as a service-based business and just wanting to double down in my personal brand. And it's been a rocky road, right? But this time I saw the blessing. And the blessing was I didn't have to drive for Uber, but I chose to drive for Uber because I would then find out a month later that I could make $1,000. I hope I make more than $1,000. I actually made $5,000 in 1 month driving for Uber. And I was like, wait, this is why I was doing client work, was to make this money. And I was like, wait a second. If we don't do client work and we drive for Uber, that means our creativity is going to expand and we can make the same amount of money that we were making without having to hunt for them by just simply getting in the car and hitting go. It's almost like the universe is conspiring in my life, and I think in your life too, to have you double down in yourself and say goodbye to anything that isn't moving you forward and up, but it's taking away your energy, your time, and your power. Yes, all three of those. Because think about it, right? Like, why would this happen? And I definitely want to say, ask yourself that, like, why would this, disappointments and hardships be showing up? Well, there's multiple reasons actually. I think personally, what I feel is for you is like, number one, you had to get molded to the person you needed to become, and it was tiring, it was exhausting, it was hard, it was shitty. But guess what? When you smiled through it, you got through it, and you kept going, you solved it, and you became a whole different person. Because I'd say right now, the person on the other side of this video watching it, Ask yourself this: are you the same person now that you were 3 months ago? And if the answer is no, drop it in the comments below and tell me who you've become. Because I know I personally became somebody who doesn't give a shit anymore. It's like, what's a funny way to put this? It's like the old me used to be like, people would be like, hey, we got a problem. And I'd be like, cool, let me help you solve it. And now at this most previous video shoot that I did, they're like, hey, we got a problem. We need someone to shoot verite. And I was like, well, good luck solving your problem. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, good luck solving your problem. I know normally I shoot verite and I normally help solve all your problems, but I am not shooting verite at this event. And they were like, okay, we'll solve it. And it was like that easy, but it's like the old me wasn't able to say that and stand up for myself. I'd always fawn or people please to help create a solution because I could feel the empathy of what others were feeling, and I didn't want them to feel it. More or less, did I want to feel it, right? But it's like so funny. It's like the shit that I just went through created me into what I'm seeing as like the queen of swords in my head. It's very direct, it's very honest, and it can be seen as cold, but it's literally not people pleasing or fawning. And I think that's what personally I went through. And if you're watching this video, you've been through this as well. Is like maybe you had to go through all this shit, all the disappointments, all the hardships, just so that you would not give an F, not give 0 Fs at all, and simply understand that you are only meant to handle your own emotions, your own problems, and you're meant to double down and use all your talents, your gifts, and your skills for yourself, and then impact the world through doubling down on yourself and creating space for people around you to jump on the platform that you create. Does that make sense? That is a lot. Believe me, I'm in the same problem trying to solve it. Well, I'm not even trying to solve it anymore. I'm just letting the universe solve it, and I'm showing up every day, and I'm like, all right, what do we do next? And it's been really fun. Hold on one second. I got to grab my coffee before it gets cold. But yeah, no, that's been the process, and it's been frustrating. Believe me, I was cussing out the heavens and doing everything until one day it's like the clarity sank in, and it was like, this is the solution I asked for, and you asked for it too. So stop bitching about the solution that's in front of you and go through the doorway, walk through the fire, give yourself a chance to see what happens when you do something different, try something new, and allow the possibilities just to unfold without controlling it, without literally having to control every aspect of it to make sure that it goes perfectly as the download hits in your reality. Because let me tell you, if you haven't figured this out yet, the downloads come in as clues. They aren't definite. And if you're idealistic and you think that everything's going to happen as perfectly as it lands in your mind, let me be the one to tell you, it doesn't. What actually happens is you get a little bit of a glimmer of what could happen and will happen over time, but there's no timestamps or definites in any of this. What you need to do is use it as a guiding light or a resource to continue to build forward, to continue to double down on yourself, continue to believe in yourself, and move forward however you need to. Because the simplicity of everything happening is it didn't happen to you, it happened for you. And as soon as you can get to the other side of it and view it from the perspective that this is happening for you, you are going to start to see the doors open all around you, because that's what's happened in my reality. And that's why I created this video, to tell you that, to literally open up to the possibilities of it, stop controlling it, surrender to the chaos and the hardships. But you're going to find yourself continually feeling exhausted and able to knock shit out, even though that exhaustion's there. You're going to flip it into vitality. And when you can flip it into vitality, you're going to see that all this stuff happened for you so that you could stop doing what's not working for you and you can't solve, because the universe is solving it. As soon as you surrender to it, you flow with it, you trust it, and you double down on yourself. That's it. That's all I got for you. I'm going to say that is today's video. Today's video is short. So guys, make sure, if you made it to this part of the video, be sure to join Enoch. That'll be in the comments below. That is my school community. It's all about how to master the metaphysics and everything unseen in reality through simplicity and practicality. So there's no woo-woo in it. It is literally learn what the universe is showing you, because it's always showing us something. It's whether we're listening and seeing it, or if we're distracted with the newest Instagram post or the World Cup or whatever's going on in the world. You know, there's so many distractions. And then if you're somebody who is a founder that is spiritual, a conscious creator, an impact-driven entrepreneur, I have a personal brand accelerator with 12 spots available in it. You could be one of them. And if you don't want that, don't worry. There's a whole load of other stuff in my ecosystem called Eden that is at bychris.io. That's bychris.io. Connect with me there on any socials. I'd love to talk to you. And until the next video, peace out. Have a good day. And I hope you double down on yourself and you get to the other side of what you're going through, because let me tell you, I'm on the other side of it and it's beautiful. Peace.